Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be creating two pages and playing with lots of new supplies. So this is my version, I suppose, of swatching. So at the very start of the year I was very lucky to receive a few of the gloss sprays and the blue Dina Wakley journal from Ranger. And I've been patiently, well actually not patiently, but I've been waiting to receive the other colours from my local shop who's ordered them in for me. So I handed over my hard-earned cash and bought the entire set of gloss sprays, which I really love, and lots of other stuff as well. So yeah, all my Dina Wakley stuff is well and truly topped up again, as if it needed to be. So I'm going in to spray two of my favourite colours, fuchsia and cheddar, and I was really interested in seeing how these two colours went together because they're my favourite colours in the acrylic paint, and I wanted to see how they reacted together as a gloss spray. With the stencils, I wanted to spray over the top, and you'll notice my stencils are new because they are clean. So once I sprayed on the yellow, I was really impressed because it was really bright, but as I heated it up, it started to seep in. Now, one of the reasons for that is because the back page, even though I heated it up somewhat, it was still damp. So there was enough room on the page for the ink to soak, the paint to soak into the surface. You can see that second coat with the white over it is staying more opaque on top because it's already got that coat of yellow underneath, so that's already absorbed into the lining of the paper. There's no more room for any more paint to absorb in, so it can sit on the top. Dina talks about that in her Creativation videos a lot more, so go check those out. Once I finish that, I'm just spraying around with some other colours. So I'm spraying on the right hand side, again using the fuchsia I think, and you can see that beautiful resist coming up through. So that's where I cleaned off the stencil from the yellow paint. And I really love doing this because you get weird and random backgrounds and it just breaks up the page for you, or for me. And I find it gives you some really interesting things that you can play around with. So as I was working, as with most things that I do, I really didn't have a plan for how either of these pages were going to go along. I just knew I had some new stuff and I wanted to try them out. I had a load of new stencils. I had these gloss sprays that I wanted to play around with, and I hadn't worked in this journal since January, since I did all the videos for Creativation, so it was nice to actually jump back into it again. So one of the things I've found with the gloss sprays, particularly doing this, is obviously they're very liquid, so you're not going to get nice crisp stenciling like you would with normal paint. So you need to be okay with sort of seeping through and spillage. I'm probably, in retrospect, actually spritzing too hard and putting too much product on the page, so it's puddling a little bit. So certainly just do a few light coats and you might get a better result. You will have noticed also that since January I have learnt somewhat about the gloss sprays and how they do actually go everywhere. So I've just used a old box, cut the side down so I can spray in that. I know Stampers Anonymous have a splat box that they released with Tim Holtz, but if you've got an old Kyber box lying around, you can make your own for free. So and that seems to be working really well. Even within that though, you would have noticed I tucked some tissue paper in between my book, and I love using the tissue paper because it tints the paper that I can use it in other collages, and I'm not wasting excess spray by decorating the inside of the box. So as I said before, I wasn't sure where these pieces were going. I just wanted to use up new stuff, and one of the new things that I got was the new collage collectives. So for those people who don't know what the collage collectives are, it's a whole range of Dina Wakley's artwork that you just tear out and use in your artwork. You can see when I turned it over, it is actually double-sided. So you do sort of need to choose which side you would like to use, but you get two sheets of each in the book. So if you use one side, you can use the other side later on. It's a great way to add some different focal points to blend in with your work. One of the reasons I really love it using the collage collective is because I do use a lot of Dina Wakley stuff because it's my favorite. The color palettes appeal to me, and obviously Dina uses a lot of her own products in her artwork, so you can actually sort of match up the colors that she's used in the Collage Collective to your backgrounds if you sort of think about it in advance and sort of get some really seamless pages happening. One of the other, I got a few of her new stamp sets as well, and this is from one of the stamp sets called Fierce. I really love it because it's a sort of negative print of a word, so it's got the be fierce or fierce in the white, and I just like the effect. I've stamped that onto tissue paper or deli paper so I can sort of put it on the page. The reason I didn't stamp it on the page is because the Dina Wakley watercolor paper, so I just had to think what it was, is quite thick and it's a little bit bumpy, so you wouldn't get a great impression. And also I'm putting it over the collage itself, so it would have a little ridge in it. So to make the white really pop on that page, I went in with my white pen and wrote in the Fierce, and then I decided I just want to put Stay Fierce as well, just with everything that's going on. I did a bit of journaling in the hair about how I was sort of feeling about this page, and once I got to this stage I was actually really liking it. I wasn't 100% sure about this page beforehand, still not one of my favorites, but I learned a lot doing this page. But I really enjoyed putting the scribble stick back on and getting some of that yellow back onto my page, because I really loved that initial pop of yellow from the original sprays, and I sort of went missing after a while. So once I'd finished that page, I had this other page sitting staring at me. I was like, oh, what do I do with this? So I kept playing. So I've got, again, a new stencil with the gloss sprays on it. I like to sort of stamp off the extra, and you can see you get an awful lot of ink off. And then I'm just drying it off. So this is on the back side of the denim pages in the book. And you can get some really cool effects with it. The little tag that I had on that page was a little one I made in a live feed on my Facebook page, which you'll find a link to in the description box below, so you can go and see how I made that one. That was really quick and easy. While I had those sort of circles out, I wanted to define them a little bit, so I've got my Stabilo oil pencil to dry around it, and then I'm just having a sort of a flip through to see what I wanted to use on my page. Now I came across this figure. Now one of the things that Dina talks about a lot is colour theory. For those people who haven't had sort of anything to do with Dina Wakley or her before, in March, she started in March, sorry. She started doing daily demos during sort of the COVID lockdowns. Hopefully we're out of them by now, but we may still be in them. So I'll leave a link to her blog so you can catch up on those, because they are just a mine of information, and it's like having a class with her. And some of the, well, every single one of them has been fantastic. But for those people who are not confident with colour, she did a great live on how to use colour in your artwork and how to use it successfully. She's done some on composition, on gel printing, on leaving white space, which obviously I need to go and revisit again because I'm not very good at that. But this page I actually did before her colour theory one, but she talks in her colour theory about the way to use the Collage Collective, in that you sort of have a look at your page, and I had a lot of purple on my page. I wanted something that would fit in with the purple, but wasn't too contrasting, and the figure that I chose had some green in it, so it tied in with the background, and that's one of the reasons I put some of the green in the background to sort of tie it all in together. But it had, so those are called analogous colours. They sit together on the colour wheel, so that blue, purple and green sit together on the colour wheel. But to make a focal point on it, you've got the punch of yellow. So on that figure it had the yellow star, which kind of echoed off the page on the left hand side, and it's the reason why I chose some yellow to do some journaling around the purple circles, because that helps them stand out a little bit. So having a think about how colours work together can help you sort of control what's happening on your page. Now again, this is not my favourite page. But it was a great page to play around with, to sort of get a little bit of mojo back, because like many people at the moment, I'm really struggling with mojo. I'm coming in and sitting in front of my desk and just sitting there and not actually doing something. So getting a box of goodies and just forcing myself to just use them prompted these 2 pages. And obviously you can sort of see, you know, everything that's going on in the world today is on my mind. So this too shall pass. Stay fierce. So, you know, as I say to the kids in my class, it's very hard to learn and to do when your mind's preoccupied with other things. For those teachers out there, you know, the old Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, yeah, that's where these pages came from. Sorry, that got very deep. I didn't mean it to. Yeah, so these are me playing with new products. That's the reason why I created them. That's why they're not particularly my favorite pages, but they forced me out of my comfort zone. I learned something from both pages, and I can take that away and apply that to other things that I do. And I think that's the most important thing with everything you do, to have that moment of reflection when you finished. Is why do you like this? Why do you not like it? What is it about it that, you know, bugs you? What part of it do you really love? And what lessons did you learn while you were doing this that you could apply to other artwork that you're going to do, or the next time you use those products? What can you take away from that? So I hope this was helpful to you, and you got something out of it, even if it's just to play with your new supplies. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.